What's up, guys? How's it going? Welcome back to the channel. Today I want to talk a bit about medication. This is obviously a contentious topic in the world of anxiety. There are very different opinions, a depth of different opinions out there, right? So I've taken my fair share of medication, and thus far it's been very negative, in short. Okay. Now, I say that, but at the same time, I take medication every day, and I think it's very helpful. So let's break it down a little bit, okay? I've taken Klonopin for 4 years, which is one of the worst drugs on the planet. Look, if you're struggling with anxiety and you don't have to take Klonopin, do not start taking it, okay? Because right now, I'm at a point where I take about a half a milligram a day, which is very little. I think that's the slowest dose you can get. But I have this I think it's more of a psychological thing where like I just can't get below that, right? And I will eventually, but I'm telling you, it's a bitch. Like like I've been at points where I was like taking 4 Klonopin a day. Like I don't know I've always taken Klonopin, I've never taken a Xanax. I mean, I have taken a Xanax, but I've never taken it consistently. So I don't know like what the equivalent of. Let's just put it this way though: the legal dosage in the United States is 3. I was taking 4 a day. I remember going to a doctor and being like, "Hey, you gotta prescribe me this," and he was like, he thought I was like trying to get high. Meanwhile, I couldn't get high. I mean, I wasn't getting high. I was just like, dude, I'm trying to survive. You know what I mean? I'm having like very crazy panic attacks every day. And he's like, no, you need to go to a rehab clinic. And I was like, no, that ain't happening, brother. So I didn't, by the way, I didn't go to that. I also take modafinil. Modafinil is for OCD. Modafinil is it's actually a drug for narcolepsy. It's a non-narcotic. It's it's found to be effective for ADD. I prefer it to a drug like Adderall, although I did take Adderall in college and I did have a generally positive experience with it. But it's just more of it's less intense. I think it's less like soul sucking than Adderall. It just kind of more allows you to focus a bit better during the day, and have less kind of like, and when, if you're not familiar with OCD, if you don't really know what that means other than what you see on TV, OCD doesn't really mean like that you like wash your hands 80 times a day, right? Or that like you clean like your books and like do really weird shit. I mean, there are like, it can manifest itself that way, but it's a very rare type of OCD. And most people who are OCD, they will do like odd things. And yeah, I do have like little rituals that are like a little bit odd, but they're nothing more than like quirks. I'm not trying to like downplay it. Or like dismiss these things. I'm just like, if you saw it, like you wouldn't think anything of it, right? You would be like, oh, that's like a little weird, right? You know, maybe I'll like tend to step in the lines when I like walk. It's like type of shit like that, right? Like wash my hands a certain way. Again, it's like more like, oh, that's kind of an odd thing to do, right? It's really, when I talk about OCD, it's more of just the compulsive thoughts, right? Those obsessive compulsive thoughts, right? That you can't really control, and it can be really, really difficult to go through your day with it, right? So that's what I take, right? So I take a half milligram of Klonopin every day, and then I take I don't know what it is, the standard dosage of modafinil every day. Now let's get into like the real drug talk, what everybody wants to talk about, right? So the SSRIs, SNRIs. I've also taken a lot of mood stabilizers, again, because I was also initially diagnosed with bipolar disorder. And I haven't had a good experience with them at all. I had a 1 month period where I thought they were helping a lot. I don't know if they were, but yeah, they stopped helping. And I've heard that story a lot. Like by the way, I'm not a doctor. Like, please, like, I'm just sharing my experience. I'm not trying to sway anyone in any direction at all. I'm just talking about my experience. Okay. So, and I think I have a balanced position, but you know, if you feel really strongly, like, please just continue doing what helps you. You know what I mean? But you know, I mean, I don't want to look up the list of SSRIs. I've basically tried all of them. Okay, I haven't. Now I don't know. Like, I haven't really committed to. I'm a very stubborn person, right? And that's kind of part of this. The anxiety people, they don't want to take the meds. The meds don't work, right? You all go off of the meds. It's very, very common. Like Lexapro, Zoloft, Paxil, I don't know. Just name it. If you put it in the comment section, I'm taking lithium. I actually wound up having like raised issues, certain issues with my kidney. It was fucked up. Yeah, I mean, like after I came out of that, if you watch my initial one, I went to an inpatient program for just a couple of days. And then after I went to that doctor, I haven't really tried any SSRIs or SNRIs. Um, and the thing is, here's the reason I'm going to try them. I'm very like focused on like reading, and then I was just reading this book on like rewiring your brain. And the thing is that obviously, as we know, or as you should know, if you don't know, here's the lesson, right? Like if you're agoraphobic, if you have like this type of anxiety, right, you need to expose yourself to these things, right? And you'll slowly get better, right? As your brain, because you're having like an amygdalic response, right? Your amygdala in your brain is telling you like, this is fucking scary. You better get out of here, right? That's also why you'll have random panic attacks, right? Which is it's kind of atypical for anxiety, and so if you're experiencing that and it's the first time you're hearing that, like it's pretty normal, but like a lot of times when people say anxiety, what they mean is like, I have a test and I'm worried about that. Okay, that sucks. Like I'm not trying to downplay that. Like that's kind of normal. Everyone really kind of experiences that to one degree or another, right? And then again, that's its own issue. We all kind of, and that's not, I have that issue as well. But like, you're really having a fight or flight experience, and your brain is telling you, but like not consciously, right? But your brain is telling your cortex like, this is a dangerous situation. Get out of it, right? Get out of it. Change, right? Fight or flight, and like, you're almost always gonna fight, right? So when you expose yourself and you accept the anxiety, you kind of go through these emotions, right? You can sort of rewire your brain, right, to send different messages from the amygdala, right? So like now you go over that bridge and you breathe and you get over it, right? And now your amygdala is saying to the cortex, hey, well, maybe this isn't actually that scary. Maybe we had a little bit of a miscalculation. Obviously, this is very simplistic, and I'll look all this stuff up. This is like my understanding, okay? Um, the thing is though, if you take Klonopin, right? And that's the way you get over these really difficult moments. You take a Xanax, like I have to do this really difficult thing, so I'll take a Xanax and I'll get on a plane, right? Well, like you're not experiencing it, right? And it's more difficult to build those pathways. Now, it's not to say that it's not good to do these things if you have to take Xanax. No, you still need to do these things. But um, at least, again, this is my understanding, okay? It won't be as effective. And I was just reading some recently that like it actually the SSRIs can be more effective in building these bridges between the amygdala and the cortex, rewiring this brain to kind of train you into thinking, no, this isn't fear. This isn't something you should be afraid of. So with that, I'm actually going to try Lexapro again. I have tried Lexapro in the past. I think everyone's tried Lexapro in this world. It's a very popular drug. And I will say this, of the side effects, I felt Lexapro was the most bearable. And I definitely do not have plans to stay on it long term. I know that like they kind of want you to stay on it long term, but yeah, I mean, that's kind of where I'm at, man. But the thing is that like, I don't think that you should be dogmatic with these type of things. I think you need to do what works. Um, like, I also think the other thing is like a lot of people have a tendency to do one or the other. So either like all drugs, like, no, I gotta find the right cocktail, right? And then they'll neglect the meditation, the exercise, right? The gratitude, all the type of stuff that's really, really helpful, right? The reading, the education, all that type of stuff, right? And they'll wonder why it doesn't work. Well, probably because maybe you did find the right cocktail, but you did nothing to like foster it, right? To build yourself up, right? You were just kind of like, hey, drugs make me better, and it didn't really work. And then conversely, you have other people who like will do all that type of stuff, right? But then they can't really get past the Rubicon, right? They can't really get there. And maybe, I don't know what I'm thinking. I think that's sort of where I'm at, is maybe I need to just for a short period of time, try out these SSRIs again, give it a shot. I mean, like Lexapro is like the standard thing that they give for people with anxiety, right? So that's where I'm at with medication. I tend to be very skeptical towards psychiatric drugs. I don't like psychiatric drugs. I would never really recommend psychiatric drugs, but if they can save me from this shit, or if they can play a role in me getting over this hell to a degree, then I'll try them again, right? So I'm going to give it a month, all right? I'm actually about to pick it up right now. We'll see how it goes. I hope it goes well. Anyway, let me know your experience below. Look, I would prefer it not to be like, I know it's going to happen anyway, but yeah, just let me know your experience with maybe medication below, and then we could, I don't know. I would think let's try not to scare people who maybe want to try medication, because I think that steered me away from it for so long, because I'd read these horror stories and I already had these kind of issues with medication or concerns over medication. So if you're going to leave a comment, just try not to scare people, but I don't want to like have to censor people who are telling their stories. I don't think I would do that. Just please keep that in mind when you do make comments. Anyway, that's all I got, guys. Thanks for watching.